I'm Jody Eckleberry-Hunt. I'm a psychologist, and I'm also author of Getting to Good Riddance, a no bullshit breakup survival guide. I wanted to make this video because so many people have told me that once they got into the book, they realized it was about so much more than romantic relationships. It's about breaking up with toxicity with family members, at work, and in friendships. And so I want to maybe spend a little bit more time telling you what's actually in this book so that you can know if it's something you might benefit from or not. I do start by talking about MOV, move on motherfucker, the idea that it really does help and heal to have a sense of humor, recognizing that bad things happen, but we can laugh or we can cry. I'd rather laugh personally. So it's recognizing that we all make mistakes, being able to look at that with kindness and humor, and moving on, saying, okay, that happened, but in the here and now, I decide where I want to go next. I do, early on in the book, focus on getting over the paralytic and crippling pain of breakups. And I've even heard people tell me about that pain in breaking up in friendships. So it's not just romantic relationships. After that, we talk about grief. And I think that's where things start to get really interesting as I move on to talk about love. And what is healthy love? What is abuse? It can be hard to know if you've never experienced healthy love, right? So we do talk a lot about childhood. Or excuse me, I keep saying we. I talk about childhood. I want you to think about childhood. But the lessons that we learned from people who said they loved us, was it healthy love? It can be hard to sort of ferret that out. Defining love is difficult. Maybe defining what is abuse is a little bit easier, but still, people who tend to be abusive come on as very flattering and just love you so much they can't stop. But if they love you so much they want to stalk you, is that love? If they love you so much that they want to control you, is that love? If they love you so much they want to rape you, is that love? Well, I would say, because again, that's a deep sense of affection, right? They think it's love, but it's not healthy love. And that applies to all relationships. The foundation for what we consider to be healthy in relationships goes back to childhood and what we were exposed to. And by sorting through all that, I try to help people realize that the baggage and the triggers and the things that maybe we're blind to that get us into situations. And I have a couple of things that I really want to emphasize here, and that is no one deserves to be abused. No one. I have had people say to me, well, this is my lot in life. This is the way people have always treated me. That's it. That doesn't make it okay. And furthermore, the guilt and the shame and the embarrassment of finding yourself in an abusive relationships, that can happen to any of us, right? Because sometimes people come off as flattering, or maybe there was a deceptiveness. Every one of us can find ourselves in that situation. And so that's not helpful. It's figuring out, what do I want to do about it now? And knowing that you don't have to be abused. You didn't cause it. And at any point you can work on extracting yourself. It's not too late. And that chapter about love is really understanding those factors. Where are you? What do you want to do with it? How to find the healthy love that you're looking for. I do also talk a bit about infidelity, and think about infidelity as unfaithfulness, somebody who's not true to you. That could be in any relationship. And what does it mean? I think we all have the potential to mess up, right? I don't think that the idea is that no one, if somebody loves us, they will never cheat on us, or everyone cheats. I think both of those are messed up. We're all human. We're going to make mistakes, but it's identifying what happened, what do I want to happen now, what went wrong, what do I want to do. So beyond that, I have a chapter that's super important for most of us, and it is boundaries. The bullshit stops here. And the idea in that chapter is that givers attract takers, right? If we've been programmed early in life, connect that to that love chapter, we might not know how to stop fixing. We might not know how to recognize the boundary between what's my problem and what's somebody else's problem. And that chapter is meant to help you identify what is a healthy boundary, and knowing that you can stop, even if you're telling yourself the story that, oh, I couldn't possibly because bad things are going to happen. No, 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 no. That storyline, again, going back to your idea about relationships, can be flawed. Only when you identify it, when you identify, yeah, I have these propensities, I have this baggage, can that you own it and choose to make different choices in your life. It's all about being intentional to find the love that you want. So after the bullshit stops here, by the way, I forgot to mention, there is that chapter that I have said before about identifying the narcissists, the abusers, the people who are threatening, and how to manage those. Because again, if those are people who are familiar to you from the past, you might not recognize it until you're already in the hole. And it's recognizing, just because we're in the hole doesn't mean that we can't get out of the hole, but it'd be better to recognize the hole is there before we fall in. So then some of the parts that I really like most about the book are deciding where to go from here. So again, this is what happened. This is understanding maybe why this happened. But now where do I want to go from here? And I have a chapter on finding peace. And that is recognizing, it's not giving somebody a pass. It's understanding that you want to have peace about what happened so that you're in a healthier position to have the relationship that you want. And again, that's part of what I really am happy with about my book is I focus on really owning what you want for the future, making a roadmap for the happiness. And so my last chapter is called So Long Sucker. And I talk about, in order to have a good hello, you have to have had a good goodbye. So it's closing out a chapter in your life that maybe wasn't so great, but that you can still learn from, understanding how that happened, why, what were the red flags, so that you can figure out how it's going to affect you going forward. You won't get rid of the baggage, and we all have it. It's identifying what it is and what are going to be the potholes in the road along the way. But here's what I'll leave you with. If we allow the past to poison the present and the future, then the asshole wins. Don't let the asshole win. Getting to good riddance is about breaking up with toxicity in any relationship that you have. I hope you check it out and let me know what you think.